Hey PC gamers, and welcome back to the PC Gamer Chat Log. I'm Lauren Morton, and I'm here with Mollie Taylor.
Hey everyone.
And this week we are going to be bringing back our staff writer Morgan Park to talk about playing games with our partners, with your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, how getting them into gaming, what kind of games we actually play together, what kind of games we cannot play together, because there are some that everybody who has a gamer spouse or partner knows that there are some games that that's your separate business. You don't play those together for whatever reason. We keep those apart. But also the joys, the blessings of getting to play with your significant other. But before we get to talking about that, Mollie, what did you do last week?
Yeah, so I took advantage of the Steam sale a little bit.
Yeah.
We touched on this last week. I think last week I had bought Dragon's Dogma, which I haven't played yet. I will admit it's not even installed. But I did buy Dorfromantik.
Oh yeah.
The little hexagonal tile-based puzzle builder, city builder. It's like a city builder, but it's
it's got puzzly bits to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what's that board game? I don't know how you pronounce it. Like Carcassonne? Carcassonne?
Oh, Carcassonne? Yes.
Carcassonne? You know the one I'm on about, right? The little
you were about to say Catan, and then I was going to get exposed to someone who says Catan because of where I'm from. Catan.
It's like that little board game with like the tiles, right? And you sort of have to like match up the pieces. So you match up like the rivers and the mountains and the trees, like the forests and the houses. And it's like very relaxing. And I've needed a lot of that this week. I've needed some like big relaxation vibes. And yeah, it's really, really fun. I have played quite a lot of it in the last week.
Yeah. When I bought Dorfromantik for the first time, I lost a weekend to that. I mean, just like hours straight, because you just kind of get on the roll. You're like, okay, I need this giant forest to complete this challenge, to get points, to keep going, to add tiles to my deck if you're playing in the like proper mode, right?
Yes. Yeah, that ended up happening. I was like 10 tiles out from the game ending, and then I just completed like a bunch of the quests, one after the other.
So
and it was like, here, have your tiles back, and I ended up with like 40 something tiles after being on like the brink of the game ending. Yeah. It was really satisfying. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's just nice and relaxing. It's a nice relaxing puzzling city builder, no disasters. Nothing like that. So
the only disaster in Dorfromantik is trying to build a waterway. Cursed.
Yes.
No matter what you do with water tiles, you end up with like a horribly shaped thing that is not even close to something that could exist. It's
always rails. It's always the rails for me. The train tracks, nah, no way. So that was fun. And then I also played a little bit of The Sims 4.
Yeah.
For the first time in ages. Now, I say I played The Sims 4. I don't play The Sims 4. I build in The Sims 4.
That's playing The Sims 4.
I don't
stick together.
Yeah, if you listen to a podcast we did ages ago now, you will know that I am a Sims 4 build by person all the way. And I'm feeling like, I don't know, I'm feeling blue. I'm like, I want to like get a good apartment so bad. So I was like, I'm going to go and, decorate how I would like my apartment to look in real life. So I also did that this weekend while just watching YouTube. It was really fun. It was really good. Yeah.
Those are two very relaxing things.
Yeah. I had like a nice relaxed gaming week.
Nice. I did not do a whole lot of gaming. I was on a bit of a reading marathon last week, but I did install and play a game where I jumped on the back of a Cyclops ogre thing and I got to stab it with like a bunch of other NPC teammates.
I don't know why I thought you were about Shadow of the Colossus at first.
Well, okay. I think Robin might have said somewhere between Shadow of the Colossus. Anyway, you reminded me the Dragon's Dogma was on sale. And so I went and I bought it and I installed it and I played a little bit of it. I got through the prologue. I didn't play a ton, but it makes a good first impression. I mean, it is a game from when it is from, and then it got ported to the PC later. I think it like
Mhm.
original was 2011 and then got ported to PC several years after that. Um, we reviewed it pretty highly at the time that it got ported to PC. I think it might have been in the 80s. Shout
Wow.
out to Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen review on PCGamer.com. And yeah, it was fun right off the bat. I haven't gotten to the part where you like actually choose different summons. Oh my gosh, what are they called? They have a name and I've forgotten it already. When there's a name for them. But anyway, it was fun so far. I had a good time. I got to climb on stuff, and yeah, that's all I've done so far in Dragon's Dogma. I just like ran through the tutorial area, and then I got to like the first town, and they were like, "Okay, run up this hill, and like here's this Cyclops thing." I was like, "Okay, this is great. I enjoy this."
I need to get on it. I will play it. I promise. Before the end of this year, I will have at least played the first like 20 minutes. I promise.
Let me check and make sure I'm not lying. I think that's all I did last week. I might have played like a little bit more of Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life because I just
Ooh,
got done reviewing that. I've talked about that the
yeah.
last couple of weeks on this podcast, but yeah, that was most of my gaming time last week. The very, very minuscule, frankly, but that's
Mhm.
all right. Well, with that done, then we are going to go grab Morgan and bring him in to talk about playing together with all of our partners and all the joy, the challenges that brings. So, Morgan, we have brought you back again and sort of accidentally made you like our co op and multiplayer person on the podcast. I promise we're going to let you talk about FPS games at some point.
No.
But, well, you're going to get to talk about them some today, I think, because that's some of the stuff that you do co op together. But, like, setting the ground, Morgan, I mean, you've always been a gamer for sure. Has your partner always been a gamer as well?
Yeah, actually, I think she's been playing games just as long as I have, long before we met. Um, it's something we definitely bonded over at first, and but she definitely had a much different uh, gaming taste than I did growing up. She played a lot of single player stuff, and you know, she introduced me to Animal Crossing, and
Ooh.
yeah, never really tried The Sims before, which I still haven't tried it, but watched her play it a lot. But she was also like really fucking good at Guitar Hero. That was really
Oh,
fun to
okay.
watch.
That's
Yeah.
rad. I love that.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah, so uh my boyfriend, of course, he's always been a stinky little gamer. What I feel like most of the gamer boys in my life have always been little stinky gamers. I can't say anything because I've always been a little
Slander,
stinky
Molly.
gamer. Just going straight in on him. I've always been a stinky little gamer too. But I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Morgan, where it's strange because we met through, our mutual love of fighting games. Like that's how we met. We met through the fighting game community. But outside of that, our tastes in games are like pretty different, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
He like loves like the Soulsborne games, and he will hate that I called them the Soulsborne games because he hates that term. He hates it so much. But he likes like those sorts of games. He loves FromSoft games. He likes like medieval stuff. He's like super into all that. Like Dragon's Dogma is another one that he really likes. Like Dragon's
Mm-hmm.
Dogma, Dark Souls. He is ridiculously good at fighting games. Like I said, that was like how we met. But yeah, I would say I'm sort of quite in line with Morgan's partner, where I was always like kind of single player, a lot of Animal Crossing. I was like very JRPG weeby as well, and then he's always been like medieval, big swords, fighting games. That's always been that's like our little taste. Yeah.
Yeah, I last time we kind of talked about significant others and gaming together, Molly, I owned up to the fact that when I met my partner, I was like deep in Guild Wars 2. Like it had recently
Yes.
come out. So like that was his introduction to my gaming habits, just right in the deep end. And he had always been a gamer. Like he grew up playing different consoles and has memories of like old platformers and things like that. And he had always been like Minecraft and Halo on an Xbox type guy, I think. And then it wasn't until a little bit later, like being around like me and some of our mutual friends, that he like had to get a PC and be involved in PC stuff. So I'd say, yes, similarly, our taste didn't overlap a lot initially. And I was definitely, to use the technical term, the stinky gamer between the two of us.
I mean, me too. Me too. When we met, I was in my Final Fantasy 14 brain rot. And
Oh,
the fact that
no.
he found me attractive while I was like deep in the throes of that, and all of my friends around us were like relentlessly mocking how much I know life that game is quite impressive.
That is not the recommended move, is just like putting your whole worst gaming habits out firsthand. And maybe we get away with it, maybe a little bit, because we're women playing
Yes,
games. Morgan, that's not how a relationship starts when you're a man who plays a lot of games, right? You can't just immediately be like, my life is Final Fantasy 14.
I think part of me probably did try to underplay how much time I spend online when we first started dating.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were friends in high school for a long time
Okay.
before too, so she kind of knew what I was about. Yeah, I don't know. She the main type of game that I introduced her to was first person shooters, because it was funny. Like before we started dating, I think the only shooter she'd really played a lot was like Call of Duty World at War on the Wii. This
I
was
love
just
that.
We.
yeah. So I mean, I don't think she'd ever really tried anything competitive or anything like that, and I don't think she knew how much time I spent over the years, like grinding in Call of Duty and Battlefield, and then eventually like Rainbow Six, and it's like uh, it was really like Overwatch that unlocked that uh, genre for her, and then at that point we both became the stinky gamers, because then we could just both spend like hours each night, sometimes at our peak, just playing one game like that, and we understood each other better, I think.
We definitely have weekends like that in this household. Like some weekends are like be a normal adult, go touch grass, go have conversations in person with other human beings, and other weekends are actually we will be here playing Valheim for 8 hours and then throw a pizza in the oven, and that's gonna be the weekend. So Morgan,
Beautiful.
that's one of the things I was going to ask you both about is, do you guys actually play games together, or do you both play games like separately?
Yeah. Both is the answer. Yeah, like time has told us that the one game that we can both stay interested in and play together has been Overwatch for sure.
Okay.
But and like we kind of discussed last time too, with how much we spend on Discord. Like
Hmm.
my partner's right there in Discord with our friends all the time too. So like we all end up watching what each other play, and can get pretty interested. Um, And it's funny that we're talking about this week, because yeah, like my Discord friends, including my partner, we're all starting to get into Street Fighter 6, which is
Oh,
new
Nice.
territory for me, but I can already tell that's going to become like our little micro obsession for like the next month at least.
Nice. For me, we kind of go through like little phases at the minute, right? And we're still in the honeymoon phase. It's a kind of new relationship. It's like, we've only been dating like since this year basically. It's like it's still pretty new, but because we met through fighting games, that was kind of like
hmm.
how we started. It was like, oh, let's play some fighting games. But the problem is he's like so much better than me. He is like so good at fighting games, and I'm just like okay at them. So we play a little bit of Tekken together. That's the main fighting game that we'll play together. And then we played like a little bit of Overwatch together, but we're both really bad at FPS games and we're both like really angry. We're both such angry people, so it was not good at the beginning of a relationship to be playing Overwatch together because we were just like we were just steaming. We were just so mad. But yeah, so he did get me into Guild Wars 2 though. So
oh, really? That's who we have to thank for that?
yeah, you have
Okay,
your
all right.
boyfriend. Yeah, you have Josh to thank for the Guild Wars 2 obsession because he was like super into that as well. So he was like, "Hey, come play Guild Wars with me," and I was like, "Okay." So that's
Nice.
kind of what we have played, but for the most part, we do tend to stick to our own things. Though he is having a lot of fun backseating my Final Fantasy 16 playthrough at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he loves a good action RPG. He loves
Mhm.
DMC5. One of the like the combat lead on Final Fantasy 16 did a lot of work on Dragon's Dogma as well, which, as I said, he really loves. So
Yeah.
he's just been like backseat gaming. He's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
do this," and I'm like, "I know." Like, I know how to play this. But then I was like, I kept going to put the game down, and he was like, "Oh," and I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Can you play a little bit more?" He's like, "I'm really invested at this point." So that's
Just
that.
one more chapter. Just read a
Yeah,
little bit more for me.
he was like, "Just a little bit more." He was like, I'm really invested." So that's been quite nice. I quite like the backseating within
It-
respect. Yeah.
Have you two ever felt like a weird guilt if you and your partner don't play games directly together sometimes? Like,
Yes.
as if you think in the back of your head, like, this is something we probably should do since there are multiplayer games out there. But, like, we really do have some of our best times doing what Molly just described. It's like having one person play and one person watch, on the couch. Like, it can feel just as much like you're playing with them and, in some ways better because sometimes when you're the one watching, it just feels good to not have to do anything and get to, like, watch a fun story. So
Yeah. What you mean, like particular games where you're like, we should be doing something else and like doing it together, and instead, like one of us is just playing a game, like that kind of situation?
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we ever really get into that kind of setup. Like you, Morgan, like we're often in a Discord call with friends and it just like changes kind of like week to week, like what people are feeling. Like my partner and my friends are currently in a little bit of a siege era again. They've been like off and on between like Hunt Showdown and Siege and oh, I don't know, maybe something else. And like I don't play either of those things, so I'm just kind of watching in the background. I might be playing like Story of Seasons or Stardew Valley or whatever else I'm in the middle of, or Diablo, like so it always ends up being like together time, like like I said, together but separate. I would
Yeah.
say we kind of have a Venn diagram of genres, and I think sometimes we overlap and sometimes we don't. But because we have different offices, we don't do very much of the like, you're doing this, but and I'm nearby and I'm playing something else. We had like a brief period where like I was playing Stardew on my Switch and I think he was playing maybe something on a console because those can like be in the same room, but otherwise like we have separate offices, so it's either like we're like literally in Discord on microphones like with each other.
Like, "Bye, honey. I'll see you on Discord." Both doors close.
Yeah. We should close our doors, but it gets so warm, and so our friends like can hear us in each other's microphones if we're not good
Oh
about like
yeah.
our voice activation. It's
Yeah.
so frustrating.
And been there, done that for sure. That's like the one thing that I see is like a legitimate downside of doing so much PC gaming is just like there's no way to turn it into couch co-op in any
Mhm.
in any
Mm.
comfortable way. Like it does feel silly sometimes when like me and my partner are the only ones on our Discord and we're just in a call with each other,
It-
even though in reality we're like one wall away from each other. Just can feel silly, but it's also functionally necessary because we have a lot of
Yeah.
games on our PCs and not actually a ton on our consoles.
I always see on like TikTok, like gamer couples will have these like neat setups and they'll be in the same room, like kind of side by side adjacent to
Yes.
each other. And we used to have an office like that, but man, it was even worse for being like in Discord calls or like I at
Mm-hmm.
that time was freelancing and working from home. So sometimes he would come home and be off of work and be ready to play Warzone loudly. And I'm like, I'm still on deadline actually at this particular
So can you not
moment.
be a gamer for 2
Yeah,
seconds?
I'm sorry, I'm busy working as a gamer. You need to stop having fun as a gamer. Um, yeah, we overlap here and there. I think actually my current partner is like the first person who I've really played games together with as a significant other. Cause like, I don't know, the guy I dated in high school played World of Warcraft and I played Guild
Oh.
Wars. So like that don't mix. And I don't
It was
know.
doomed from the start.
Yeah, pretty much. It was doomed from the start. It was all about that Blizzard v ArenaNet. And then like he played Diablo, but I was playing Dragon Age. So, and like very, very occasionally, I think I might have gotten an Xbox 360 around that time, and that was when Halo 3 was out. And like maybe we would have played some Halo 3 together. But like again, still not a good FPS person and like on a controller, obviously not super advisable. Do you guys have genres that you specifically play together most of the time, or does it depend more on the game?
Hmm.
Yeah, depends
Yeah,
more
like
on the game for us. Go
Yeah.
ahead,
it's the
Molly.
same. Yeah, I know it's the same. I was just say it's the same. It depends on the game, and again, because like we kind of go through little waves
Mm-hmm.
of playing together, and then especially if like tournament season. I say tournament season. If we've got like a tournament that we're playing in or something, like we'll we'll like play a lot of Tekken together because that's normally what we enter
Mm-hmm.
to play. So we'll, like play some Tekken together, which I don't know what he gets out of that again because he's like a million times better than me, but that's nice. But yeah, it
Molly, you
really
also
does.
play in tournaments. Don't undersell yourself.
I do play in tournaments. Not nowhere near as good as he does. But yeah, it's like we'll come together and then, apart for a little bit. But I think as time goes by, we'll probably like dip our toe in more like cool games. I bought It Takes Two. Uh yeah, I
Oh,
bought It
cool.
Takes Two like a few months ago and we're still yet to
Mm-hmm.
play that, but that is one that is on the list of
Yeah.
games for us to play at one point.
We have like it is really nice, as I mentioned, to have Overwatch as like a bedrock game that we can play together.
Yeah.
Basically, if we just feel like playing a game together, that is one we can definitely go to. Um, but like as far as like these games that we just get into for a short period of time, we just have like these sort of explosions of co-op enthusiasm. I think the
Mm-hmm.
best ones we've ever had are like when our whole the few times our whole Discord has gotten into Minecraft are like magical
Yeah.
months.
Yes.
Um, Starting up a new server, pumping a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
mods in, and just letting loose. And then like the main other one that was like honestly just as fun was the month that we all just played a bunch of Red Dead Online. Um,
Yeah.
and that game is just it's got so much great interaction and just
Mm-hmm.
enough more focused on the role play than like the missions themselves that you had kind of had to make your own fun. It
Yeah.
was really fun. It, yeah, it's nice to have a bedrock game, but I kind of wish we could find more of those sort of just magical micro obsession games more often.
Yeah. I think for us, it's definitely mostly a genre. Like, I think we always play crafting survival games together if they are co-op. Like, we got into like we long ago would have Minecraft servers, like you said, Morgan, and those are like good times when you can get everybody on the same server just working on stuff. I think it's been a while since we've really got into a new mod pack or anything like that. And my my friends listening will yell at me and be like, "You're the one who doesn't want to play mod packs because they pick the kitchen sink mod packs," and I get so overwhelmed. I mean, you just need to pick like one big one, but they want everything, and I can't focus. I can't do it. But we end up playing like Valheim. That was a solid couple months obsession, and Sons of the Forest. We really like mainlined that for the week it took to get through the story. But we definitely have they like allow you to split roles and like in a freeform type way and have different responsibilities, right? In a not the same structured fashion as like Overwatch, where you have a literal role and a literal character, but then you get into Valheim and it's like, okay, me and one of my friends are usually the ones like working on building the house, Sims style, and then my partner and another friend are off there like we're getting the wolf pelts for the new armor, or like we just made 5 new elixirs, or we explored that way. And I that always allows a good it's a good teamwork ability type genre, I've found.
It's true. Yeah, I think the best examples are games that just let you choose your own role, and they're just kind of like 10 games in one, so that everyone in your group will find
Something they want to be doing.
something in there that
You got to make sure that you and your partner are either, if it's available, you can be the same role, but I feel like you got to be like different. You got to prefer
People
different
gotta match.
things.
Yeah. Molly, we've talked about this. Are you the building partner, or are you the fighting in the mines partner?
I'm the gathering. I'm the one that's like, I'm going to go gather some wood and I'm going to cook a meal for everybody. That's me. I like being the homebody. The problem was when we played Overwatch is that we're both Moira mains. So that was like, because I was like, oh, I mostly play Moira. And he was like, oh, that's super cool. I also mostly play Moira. And then we played together and it's like, oh.
And it's not cool, actually.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, no, you play Moira. No, you play Moira. And it's like, oh, fuck. You gotta play different roles,
Morgan, are you the builder or the hunter?
That sounds so dumb and heteronormative, but like, yeah, my partner stays at the house and makes it look amazing, and I come back with all the cool stuff, and I stand there
and just jump 60 logs in the chest. Do whatever you want with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll come back and I'll look at the house and be like, man, this is so cool. I should like figure out how to contribute to like the beautification of this place. But I just look at like all these techniques she has that she's just like picked up from Sims over the years, and
right, yeah.
And then I remember the houses I've made in my own Minecraft, and they're just these stupid fucking wooden boxes that I just like are fully for like function over fashion, and it just I can't do it. But I do love. Yeah, I do love the gatherer role of going off and
it's so much fun.
A new cave and stuff. Yeah.
I'm a decorator as well. I'm a decorator, not a builder. Like,
okay, yeah.
I can't, like, once the structure is down, I'll be like, oh, let me put some flowers down, and I'll like get some shears and I'll go get the ivy and I'll put the ivy like over the house and it'll be really cute. You ask me to build the house, fuck no. No. I can't do it. I will go and get everything you need to build the house, but I will not build it for you.
My houses always end up looking like the inside of a machine shop, where it's just like wherever these large machines will fit, I just plop them down.
Yeah.
And then when I try to like beautify them myself, that really just amounts to like putting some flowers outside in the grass. That's just like all I can really think of. I don't know. I guess you can do carpet.
Do you guys have that experience of, Morgan, you mentioned like, or no, Molly, you said like your boyfriend wanted you to keep playing Final Fantasy just like a little bit longer. I just want to play more. Have either of you had the experience of like the TV show effect, where you can't watch it without them, or you can't play it without them because you're doing it together and you can't leave them behind, and vice versa? Have you had that struggle?
Yes.
Maybe not so much in the FPS games. This might be like more of a campaign and or crafting problem.
Like a story game. Yeah, I've been hesitating to play Final Fantasy this week. I've played it once, mostly because I've been playing something else at the minute, but I was like played a little bit of Final Fantasy earlier in the week and I felt bad. I was like, oh shoot. And then like a really big thing happened and I was like, Josh would have loved this. So but he's coming over for like he will be coming over. So I'm like, oh, I'll just wait till he gets here and I'll play it. I'll play it while he's here, Yeah, I do feel bad.
Yeah, not recently. I've had that effect, but obviously we have that with actual TV shows,
Yeah.
and it has happened before with games. Like, we start like a Naughty Dog game together, and those games are basically movies, and I feel too bad trying to even play just a little bit without her.
My partner is a menace with the crafting games because I don't know what it is. He can just like zero in and mainline something. He's got anime on his other screen that I don't know if he's even watching or paying attention to. Um, but we always have it happen with him where he is like, are we getting back on Sons of the Forest? Are we getting back on Valheim? Are we getting back on Roots of Pacha tonight to build more or like do the next thing, especially Valheim, because there were the bosses to chase. And he's like, we have to get to the next boss. And he's the one that wants to keep going. And the rest of us are more like, we'll get around to it. And we have betrayed him a couple too many times of like leaving him hanging on wanting to keep playing, but like going from having 4 people playing the game to just one, it's like, oh no,
Is
I'm
he
so
always the
sorry.
host then? Is he always the one that has like the co-op save so that he can just go and do it whenever he wants to? He doesn't need to rely on any of you.
No, we
Maybe you
haven't
should
learned
make
that
him though.
lesson yet. We haven't learned that lesson. I think I was the host for Valheim, and I think there was a point at which I handed off the save file to him. I was like, "You can keep playing it if you want to," and he's like, "I want you guys to
Yes.
play with me." Uh, and I think our other friend was the host when we played Roots of Pacha together, the farm sim. And I forget who hosted Sons of the Forest. That was easier because Sons of the Forest has like an end point, fortunately. And we did complete it. But Valheim, I think he ended up playing with some other friends to fight the last boss on a
Damn.
totally
Yeah.
different save file because we betrayed him so badly by giving up after we played a lot of Valheim for like a couple months, to be fair.
It's a bad feeling.
Yeah.
It's definitely happened in a lot of co-op games with our group. Minecraft comes up too because everyone can sort of detect when a server is dying. Just like
Yeah.
you go a couple days and you realize no one's really logged on
Uh-huh.
to play. And we do have that one friend. It's not really my partner, but we do have that one friend that's like still clearly has it in him to play a bunch more, but just feels
Mm-hmm.
discouraged when everyone else is done. But it happens. No one's fault. Everyone just has different Minecraft burnout rates or video
Yeah.
game burnout rates.
How are you guys with teamwork? Like what is that experience like for you guys playing games together with a significant other? Like was it a hump to get over to like work well together in your roles and it'll depend on the game that you're playing, I guess.
There was a time which we didn't play much Overwatch together I because I got too frustrated.
Oh no.
Uh, Very embarrassing, but it was like it was back when we were both playing it on like PS4. Um, and yeah, like obviously I never like was like mean directly to her, but it was more just like I'm just like complaining about the situation we're in
Uh-huh.
and driving the mood down, and I had to like I just had a moment where I was like, I can't ever be that guy again. So now I'm the one that's silent about whether or not the game's frustrating and just trying to pull through anyways and enjoy the games that are fun.
Yeah.
We have
Um,
all been there. We have all been there. I've like there was a point where I was playing Overwatch with like the same group of people, and it was just getting to a point where
Yeah.
almost every single night would end with one person like just in the worst fucking mood, and it would bring everyone else down. And I stopped playing it for a bit because this was before my partner, because I was like, this is just like bumming me out. Like every time we play, we might like end up losing a few, because it's nice, when maybe there's 2 of you and then suddenly you had a 6 stack and you were up against like actual good 6 stacks who were just like absolutely annihilating you, and then one person would like get the hump and leave. So yeah, that was with friends, but me and my boyfriend, I've definitely gotten like a little bit arsey with my boyfriend when he like kicks my ass in Tekken, like 30 times in a row, and then I finally feel like I'm getting somewhere, and then he will just like take like 12 rounds off me without me even getting close to touching him, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Even on characters that he's not very good with, and he will just kick my ass. And I've definitely like, I've not gotten mad at him, I just get like a bit moody.
You're like, okay, we need to step away from this.
Yeah, I'm like, let's stop playing. But he can't say anything. I'm going to call him out. He can't say anything because he also gets moody when our friend, who is very, very good at Tekken, kicks his ass. So it's like it's like a ladder, right? I get pissed at him. He gets pissed at our friend, who is just like one of the best Tekken players I have the pleasure of knowing.
Our
Street Fighter 6 is my first fighting game, and I felt like a true fighting game normie last night when I was fighting my friend Ian, like 12 fights in a row or something, and he plays Ken. And the one thing I know about Street Fighter without having played it, but now having played it, is that it's really fucking annoying when someone just throws fireballs at you from across the stage. And you just have to deal with it. You just have to like inch towards them and until you can actually, and he did that every single match because I'm playing a guy that grapples a lot. And yeah, that's like honestly one of the first times I've been close to just like wringing my friend's neck because of a video game in like years. Like nothing has pissed me off like that in recent memory.
Yeah. That's an interesting point, like, because you guys are talking about fighting games, and I didn't think about this before we had this conversation, the immense difference between PvP with a significant other and like co-op team game struggle. Because Morgan, like you said, it's hard enough when you're on the same team and like you not wanting to be frustrated with each other, but man, when you're going head to head, like Molly, obviously you've done PvP with your boyfriend. Morgan, have you ever done player versus player stuff with your partner?
No, sometimes it takes a while to find an Overwatch match, so you click on one of the side activities, and one of them is team deathmatch. That just throws your whole group into a deathmatch with each other, and you can definitely tell when someone's being a little more serious than the other one.
Yeah.
But no, me and my partner, we just goof around. We just like, even when it's supposed to be PvP in that moment, we just like try to knock each other off the map or just wave to each other and don't shoot.
Yeah, we've never done PvP stuff either. And I just like, I guess I don't have the competitive spirit in me. Like I don't do much PvP generally. But yeah, we always do stuff that's either co-op or on the same team. And like, I think our trial by fire was like PUBG, probably like the H1Z1 and PUBG era while that was so popular, because I'm not mostly a shooters person, like, and he definitely is, and our other friends are. And so we would do squads of like 4. And we would usually have a fun time with that. But if it was duos, me and him together, the skill difference just becomes really unfortunate. And we found his experience is always that like duos versus squads in a battle royale or extraction is always like so much sweatier than squads. Like people mess around in squads, and in duos, like you really have to be on your game. And like, of course, I literally cannot be on my game when it comes to an FPS. So bless his heart, he would get the most frustrated, I think, when he was not able to like account for our skill difference himself. Like he graciously knows that I'm doing my best and my best is not going to improve, and he gets frustrated that he cannot cover for that entirely and like carry me to the win. And I'm like, yes. I'm sorry.
That's a really good point, actually, because I haven't really had that with my boyfriend yet, because we haven't really played a lot of FPSs. But I did play Halo Infinite with a friend who was way better at shooters than I was.
Yeah.
And like, I remember just kind of having to step away in the end, because he was much better than me, and I could not make up for like my lack of skill. And I just remember him getting like very, very irritated, and he was blaming like everyone else, but I knew it was my fault. It was actually it was my fault. But yeah, like that sort of difference in skill level, I guess when you're going like head to head, right, it doesn't matter as much because whatever. My boyfriend is amazing at fighting games. I'm not. That's fine. We are deeply competitive people, so he will like rinse me for it. But then when we go like bowling or something, I am way better at bowling, so I will lord that over him. We're deeply competitive people, so I think putting us on the same team so like becomes a problem because then I don't know. It's weird. You'd think it would be like PvP that would make it a problem, but I think it's when we're on the same team. And
it's easier
like,
to be like gracious winners or losers to each
yeah.
other, and it's harder when you have to be on the same side of the table just together being gracious losers. Like
Yes.
sucks.
Mhm. Nowadays in Overwatch, if when me and my partner are just playing like in a 2-person squad and getting like 3 random teammates, like it doesn't usually come up because she's actually very good at Overwatch, but like if there is like some sort of deficit that if I really paid attention probably could have been her or me, you'll never hear from either of us. We will just talk as much shit as we want to each other about the
About
other
everybody
teammate.
else.
Even if like they probably did like 2 things wrong, but I did like 5 things wrong. But we're just gonna focus on those 2 things that they did wrong because fuck them.
You like tab and you see you only have 400 healing and the other healer has like 6,000. You're like, oh, that Mercy fucking sucked, man. Oh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
side-eyeing your own stats.
We've even talked about it with our friends, like, oh yeah, I guess we do only complain about the other teammates even when it's our fault. We're like, yeah, but would it be more fun if we were complaining to each other? That just sounds miserable. So yeah, let's just bitch about the people that we don't know and we will never see again.
Yeah, I think the minute you start infighting is when it like stops being fun, right?
Yeah.
The minute you like turn to a friend and you go like, you fucked up and that's why we lost, it's like, okay, go home. Like this is when we stop playing for sure.
Yeah, who wants to have one of those awkward nights where you're like both kind of still mad at each other but not because of a stupid video game? It's too many important other things to
it's a
argue
level of like competitive threshold that I will just never cross, because like at a certain point you do have like, if you're gonna be particularly competitive, like if you really want to compete in like ranked or whatever, you do have to be able to like give each other feedback, right, on like who's not playing up to their usual or like meeting the team. But yeah, I'm never gonna be playing at a level where that is needed.
Yeah, I can't take that.
I'm just happy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna recommend from experience: don't play ranked with your partner if you actually care about your rank, because yeah, the correct way to play is to criticize each other, and that's just a miserable experience.
Yeah.
So keep it casual.
For sure. So I know you said, I have a question actually. I know, Morgan, you said that your partner sort of got you into Animal Crossing. Lauren, has your partner got you into like anything? Because you said you influenced a lot of your partner's taste, but has he influenced you? I know you're stubborn. You like.
I was about to say, I just admitted like on a different episode of this podcast how absolutely stubborn I am, actually.
But did he worm his way in?
No, I don't think so. No. Like he's better at PUBG than me, but like I was playing that with our friends for sure, and like he wound up building his PC so that like he could properly play with us. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna try Siege. Like, no, thank you. No, because that's really we overlap on like about half of our interests. Like he's never gonna play The Sims, and that's fine. And the more like serious proper gunplay FPS stuff, I'll probably never play. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
I love you.
I'm sorry. I'm so
You're a queen. You know exactly what you want.
I'm trying to think of what type of game he would get me into that like I wouldn't have tried before. Like he plays like proper farm sim, like farming simulator. He plays,
What a guy.
I know.
You're over there like, willing to show him like Story of Seasons or Stardew or something, but nah, he's more into Farming
He is into
Simulator
farming
2024.
simulator. He likes the equipment and like he chops trees. So I've never played one of those, and like I probably could and would enjoy it. Um, he plays with family with like siblings,
Aw.
and I think has a good time. So like it is co-op. I don't know. Maybe when the next farming simulator game comes out, like, and that's not even like out of my proper genre. Like, of course I would play farming simulator. So
It's a transition. It's like a nice, it's like easing you into to something
Yeah,
different, right?
maybe give it a shot. Those Farming Simulator games are like, I feel like the cool part of Stardew or Story of Seasons is like the lifestyle part of it. You're like, oh, I'm just gonna
yeah.
plant or water my little crops and then walk to the store.
Mhm.
But Farm Simulator is like, no, I need to spend 8 hours a day running this gigantic tractor over these crops to make sure they grow better. And oh, it's nighttime. I guess I'll like throw eggs in the back of a truck. It's it's real ass work.
It's such
It's
a
Yeah.
dad game.
It's a
yeah,
very
exactly.
it's a very have anime on your other screen game because
Yeah.
yeah, like you're running your planter, you're just like hoovering a field, right? Like making sure you get those good carpet lines in the field while you're actually watching something else.
Yeah, it's a pretty good multiplayer though. If you play like a demolition derby, where you just like drive these tractors really dangerously close to each other, and then they collide in this goofy way, and you like do 3 flips in the air because the physics are all wonky. Definitely recommended for that.
I think party games might be the only like PvP thing. I'm still trying to think if we've like gone head to head in anything, and it's probably literally just like Mario Kart once a year,
Mm.
um, or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, we just got Switch Sports a month ago.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually we did go head to head in that, and we were just like you know jokingly talking shit to each other about golf. Uh, a sport that neither of us really know anything about, but we have played a lot of Wii golf, and that's fun. I like pretending to really fucking care about the outcome of a stupid video game.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think one of the first on our first date, we went to like a video game bar and we played Gang Beasts. So straight away we were like right in there of like
Hmm.
the competitive video gaming, and obviously I won. So
Gang Beasts is
Nice.
wonky. Like I went back and played that again. I thought the controls were a little more like they worked. I went back and played it recently. Nah, it's a little
no,
ropey. Like grabbing people, holding them over your head, and then throwing them is not quite as it doesn't work quite as often as I
don't take
thought.
this victory away from me, Lauren.
I'm sorry.
My partner's not. I wouldn't say stubborn, but she definitely knows what she likes too.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I got her into one shooter, but
Yeah.
I also bought her like Hunt Showdown one time. Like, hey, just
Hmm.
try it. I love this game, and she did. She played like 1 or 2 matches with me. We didn't do bad or anything. I just don't. I just think that's a game she closed, and she never had the desire to open again.
Didn't
Uh,
click. Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. I love watching her build her zoo and Planet Zoo. That's cool with me.
Yeah. Do you have now thinking about that? Like, do you have some genre that like it would be cool to play together, but your significant other will never be into? Like, if they are like me, I guess, and they may not be. I don't know if
I'd
Molly,
love
you have
to
that problem.
go ahead, Molly.
Um, I don't know. Like I said, we're both very angry people, so I think it would be nice to maybe go back to Overwatch, but I don't think it's safe. I don't
Yeah.
think I say angry. We're not angry in like a bad way. We're very like passionate people. Like we're passionately competitive, right? So when we lose, we feel the losses, right? We feel our
Hmm.
own like shortcomings. Um See, I don't know. We I would like to get him into Minecraft. He always says
Yeah.
that he does not like Minecraft, and I really, really want to play some with him. And he has said that he'll like consider it because we haven't
Hmm.
done any like crafting survival type thing together yet, and I feel like that would be a lot of fun
Yeah.
to play together. So maybe I'll try and give him like a little. a little nudge. But that does seem like one of the things that is just not in his like wheelhouse of interests. Maybe is there like a medieval? Can he like be a blacksmith or something? I think if I could find like a crafting game where he could just make big ass swords all the time.
Where if there's like a tech tree part of it that's just like all about the actual crafting, staying
Yes.
home bit. Yeah.
He would live for that. But yeah, I'd say like crafting survival games, maybe one that might need a little bit of convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said that my partner's main shooting experience was Call of Duty Wii, and that was true. But actually, before we met, she had also had Left 4 Dead 2 on her laptop, and she loved Left 4 Dead 2 a lot. And so we still go back and play that sometimes with friends, but it's just a little too old now. I think we're all just, put enough hours into it that those missions all feel the same. So I think that's like one gaming gap that we could really get into well together if it was the right game. There's no shortage of cool co-op shooters right now.
Yeah.
Like, Dark Tide and even like, Back 4 Blood, which is like basically Left 4 Dead 3, but isn't. So like it's probably never going to happen, but like an actual Left 4 Dead 3 might be like the game that she gets obsessed with for like that whole year if it was really good, and that would be really fun to play together. But
Yeah.
it takes a lot for her to really get into one of those. It really has to be like the right convergence of certain things. It can't just be like a co-op shooter. It has to be one that she's like immediately into. It just doesn't happen that often.
I think I had the opposite problem recently with Diablo 4 coming out because my other friends wanted to play. I was going to be playing. And my partner was like, getting that feeling of FOMO. It was like, should I buy Diablo? And I was like, no, you shouldn't buy Diablo. I know you will not like it. It is not the kind of game that you enjoy. You do not like gear heavy, loot heavy RPG stuff from this perspective. You will not like it. I don't want you to spend the money on it and then tell me that you don't like it. And I felt so bad. I didn't want to tell him, no, you can't play a game with us. But I'm like, I promise I want you to enjoy yourself, and it's just not going to be it.
I want you to be happy. Diablo will not make you happy.
I do want the best for you. Really, I just want to I think I want to get back into like some like server party game stuff. Like I need to pick up like Witch-It. Or like some other like weird like prop hunt offshoot, like the Midnight Ghost Hunt, right, Morgan?
So that's a really good one.
Yeah, I think that's my next investment, maybe, of like gaming with my partners. Like I want to get back into some just like high laughs, like hijinks shit. I think, which is like a little bit PvP, right? Like it's a little bit you're against each other, depending.
If you ever happen to find yourself with 2 VR headsets, or even just 0, honestly, like spending a night in VR chat, just goofing off with random people and going to interesting servers is a ton of fun. Like me and my friend, not my partner, but me and my friend got into it once we both got headsets, and we were just like hang out for hours in this like virtual theater that just has like movies somehow preloaded into it. Like you can just choose from this grand wall of movies to watch. And I always thought that'd be awesome to also goof around with my partner, but she wasn't really into it. And if you play it without a VR headset, it's a lot less cool. So
yeah, you can't move your character about in all the fun ways. Yeah,
exactly.
VR chat like got me this close to buying a VR headset. Just because watching my friend who has a VR headset like flail their arms around as I chase them around a random room just really made me want to get a VR headset. I didn't cave, but I don't think my partner would be into that either, though.
Nice. Well, we all kind of have come out of this with homework, like stuff that we can play together with people. I need to get into the like prop hunty stuff. Molly, you're gonna keep on that Minecraft crusade. You're gonna do your best, right?
My best.
Yep. Morgan, what did you say was going to be your next thing that you want to get into together?
I think in the immediate future, we're all about to get into Street Fighter. So I might come back to you next time and be like, oh God, we got really mad at each other.
And now Street Fighter is banned in this household.
Yeah. Like, oh, her main character's so fucking annoying or something. But,
Nice.
We'll see.
Well, thank you guys. My resident fellow big co-op, big playing together with friends people for talking about the holy grail of getting to play video games with your significant other, the pros and the cons, the beauty and the the ugly of
The
it.
beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, we've been together 8 years now,
Hmm.
and there's highs and lows of gaming together. Sometimes we go through bouts of just sticking to our own stuff, and
Yeah.
and then sort of converging for other things like just watching shows together or whatever. But
Hmm.
it's not always gaming is not always something we do together, but it's something that when we do find something awesome, it becomes like the best thing
Yeah.
of the moment.
It's
you know?
great to
It's
have that, like doing this together every single night.
it's super
Those
special.
stretches. Yeah.
Yeah, there is something real unique about it. One of my like school relationships, he would like play Rust and I would play Persona. It was like
Yeah.
that time. It was like when I was in college and he would play Rust and he would like unplug one monitor for me and I would have my PS4 plugged in and I would play
Aw.
Persona. And we would just like spend the entire Saturday. It was my one day off. I was like at college 5 days a week and I worked 2 days a week. I worked like I was at college 4 days a week and I worked 2 days a week. And the Saturday was the one day that I didn't have to do anything. And we would just sit there, we would ignore each other, and we would play our silly little video games. And it was bliss.
But next to each other.
But next to each other. And it was amazing. And I do think like being able to come together to play games or being able to enjoy games separately in each other's company is like really special. It's really nice being able to. I feel like gaming is such a unique hobby and it's really nice to be able to share that in so many different ways with the person that you
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
If this ever comes up again, I'd love to talk to a coworker that maybe has a partner that doesn't game at all.
Yeah.
And see how that life turns out. I imagine that coworker probably just doesn't play games as much when they're not working, which actually sounds like maybe a healthy change of pace.
Yeah,
for us.
maybe that's actually good.
Yeah.
Maybe we're the sickos here.
Yeah.
That's true.
Maybe
Awesome.
we are the sickos.
Well, confirmed 100%.
Yeah,
There's
confirmed. We're all stinky little gamers.
stinky little gamers. All right. Bye, guys.